Welcome everybody. So we are recording this live right here at Digital Dealer, but it's streaming on YouTube and will be on Spotify later tonight. Welcome in. This is Long McArthur Live, and we are at the Dealer Team Week booth here at Digital Dealer. So we're going to about a live audience. That's awesome. But we are going to do something a little different in our live stream. So something that Long McArthur has been doing for the last 212 episodes on this live stream is help customers out, help them learn a little bit about how to, filter through everything that dealers are, helping their, getting their cars and everything else like that, through helping them with their orders before this is started, and how to also kind of learn what customers have to go through, and we're just trying to help give them all the information they need, so they go into the dealership feel comfortable, because there's not enough dealerships out there that are transparent and authentic and giving the customer the deal without having to, go through all these hoops. So we have customers that are going all over on forums, everything else, trying to find all the information, and so they're looking for that because they're afraid they're going to go in there and they're going to get screwed over at the dealership. So that's what our live stream started, is educating them on how the order process goes, how back in the day when it took, because of COVID, it took so long to get the vehicles that sometimes they carried over into another model year. We got transition private offers that dealers didn't give the customers, or they didn't know how to get to the customers. And then price protection. There's a lot of dealers that didn't honor price protection when Ford did, and always reimburse the dealership back. So we've done that. So our live stream really has started about being transparent and letting people know out there that there are dealerships that are trustworthy, and we have some here today that we're going to talk to that I've met, and even someone from our own dealership here that's going to talk a little bit today. So we're going to interview some people in this live stream. So I may not look at the chat too much, but do have some people in our chat. So we usually answer questions live on our live stream, live Q&A. I don't think any of the dealerships doing that. And we don't dodge any questions, and we help out any we can. So I don't know about tonight if we'll be able to do that, but we'll see. So I am used to having somebody over here, so we're going to get somebody up here. Ashley. Ashley. So we got. You haven't. You've been on Sarah's now, so we'll maybe talk about that. So we usually always tell people to follow some of the different places that we are, and one of the ones that we kind of have stemmed off of our podcast is Sarah's, All Women Driven, and tonight we're going to talk to 3 women. So this is awesome. So, and Ashley was one of the first guests on Sarah's All Women Driven podcast. So make sure you look for that on YouTube. But all right, so I'm going to hand the mic over. We only have one mic, so. But so what I want you to do is kind of tell us, because I remember I've been at the dealership for 24 years. So yes, you're
short timer.
and you were there like just a little bit before me, which you had to be very young. So we'll just say you were 10. Okay.
I'm only 29 now.
So of course we've known each other for a long time, but I want you to kind of tell people from the live stream as well as the audience a little bit about where things have changed. Our marketing has changed drastically since you started. So tell us a little bit about the story and how things have changed, and even recently, like how we've had to evolve.
So it's awesome. Tim and I's relationship, we've kind of gone through the ups and downs together. So we started when people were doing newspaper ads, and we were drawing out what the figures were, the cars and the numbers that were going to go below it, and then we would proof them, and then the guys would have the ads on Saturdays. So that's kind of, I feel like, where we started. And then I would say Tim's been really an innovator in our dealership. People weren't doing YouTube. He started that. He started being transparent with people. He started doing walkarounds on vehicles, showing all the different products, transparent pricing, and then now what you've gone to with being transparent with our customers about what's going on with their vehicle. Hey, I've waited months and months and months. I don't know what's going on. So Tim kind of showing that equipment restraints has been, huge for our dealership. And I think that we've taken a lot of that transparency and then put that into our social media, into our messages, which is also tied back really well into being a family dealership. I think that automatically kind of creates that trust that we're okay putting multiple generations of our dealership and know that we're doing great things. So I think that that's kind of how we've evolved over time. That when Facebook became a thing, I feel like you're always the first one to sign up for a new platform, and then we're like, we're going to give it our all, and hopefully it sticks around for a little while. And so I appreciate, thank you for being such a big innovator in the automotive industry, and also for McArthur. So a lot of avenues that we wouldn't have even explored without you. So.
All right, so talk about advertising, because I worked at a dealership when our motto was no goal. Remember that? So tell a little story about like how did because I know that you came back, you kind of came in and started being a marketing director. Some of the things that did you feel like there were struggles, or I know the answer because I worked there, but did you see any struggles with trying to make some shift and some change into being more transparent with our marketing?
I do 100% because I feel like when we came in, and the reason that I stuck with automotive, I actually went to school to do the weather and the news, was that there wasn't transparency. There's a lot of dealerships around us that are like, oh, we're going to advertise this one unit at this really low price. And then guess what? Oh, it's sold when people come in. So I think that was what a lot of dealerships were doing. And a lot of dealerships weren't focusing on what we do for the community, the ties that we have with different organizations, and kind of going above and beyond in that direction. So I think that that's definitely one thing that we've done that's been very transparent, that's earned those customers' trust, and a different way that we've also shifted what we were doing, because we didn't really like the car dealer narrative. We didn't like that, people weren't happy with their car buying experience, that they were becoming the bad guys of the dealership, So I think that that's definitely something we've done that's transformed us, and it worked out very, very well for us now as the #1 car dealer in Kansas. So, and that's due in big part to what you do. So.
All right, cool. So yeah, because I was thinking about that. We did we got away from not just doing like different commercials with the vehicle deals, this and that, but then we also started doing things about I remember what was it, Driven Back?
We decided to go. So we were doing all of these community things, and back then you couldn't just slap something on social media. So we put together what's called the Driven to Give Back campaign. It was a spin off of some things that Ford were doing, but at that point it wasn't. They had to kind of jump onto it, and so we latched onto it. We made a logo, we made a complete campaign on it, and it worked out really, really well for us. So
I know that some dealers, because I've gone to some shows where we talked about things we've done in the community, how we've given back to different things, and we would, put that on social media in videos and such. And there were some dealers who were like, well, you shouldn't do that because you should just do the stuff and then they should see it. But I'm like, you have to let them know. There's no way that they're going to know that word of mouth unless you put it out there. So they shouldn't be afraid to tell people, show the story of what we're doing in the community on social media and using it.
So the one thing I would have to say to that is that when we go to, like, I'll have people that come into me all the time and they're like, do you want to sponsor this chamber event? Do you want to, cater in lunch for the teachers? And I'm like, okay, great. I get that you want me to write a check, but what's the partnership aspect? I can write you a check all day long. But if I go and I put your event on our social media and 100,000 people see it on a post, that's way different. So how can I partner with you to not only help your cause, but also to help my cause? So one of the organizations we work with is called Love Chloe. And what they do is they put together these kits for children with cancer. And so, we could have easily wrote a check for that, but instead what we did was we were like, hey, let's bring awareness to your cause. So they make these cute little monkeys that they give to kids when they have cancer to kind of be the go-between between the classroom and between the child in the hospital. So they have cameras and all that kind of stuff. And to them, it was worth more to them for us to promote their cause, to get the word out about what they do, to then get people to sponsor those kids than it could have been for me to write a $200 check. So I think that those partnerships are what's really, really important. And that's why we tell our story what we tell, is because it's more important to me to be having those partnerships, furthering their cause, than it is to, support monetarily wise. So.
Because we have a platform where we can reach a lot of people on our social media, and so they want to partner with us so that we can get that word out about their event or whatever. Because we hit so many people on the Facebook, and yeah, right, yeah. Yeah, so we get that word out, so they want to. That's what we have to do. So I'm going to go into something that maybe is some dealers are questioning. In fact, we talked about it tonight about the NIL. So that's been kind of there are a lot of the NIL athletes out there wanting to get people to work with them. Tell us a little bit about what we do and all that.
So this is a topic that's near and dear to my heart because it takes a lot of time. The day that the NIL deal was signed, we actually, or Derek Lee, our GM, there was a quarterback that played for K-State. Great guy, so nice. Did we have our reservations about putting a football player into I don't even remember what he wrote. Oh no, the first guy didn't even want a car. We put new wheels on his Ford Fusion, and he decided to represent our dealership for a year. And I was like, sold. Skylar Thompson was our first one. Who played for Ohio and won the national championship last year? Will Howard. So right now we have two of our ex-quarterbacks that are in Pittsburgh playing for the Steelers. And so the way that all came about was, they're kids, they want a car. And we're like, well, you're kind of 18 years old. We got to figure out how this is going to work. We do our background checks. We look and see, how well-spoken kids are, what their reach is, all that kind of stuff. So we definitely do our research first. And then we say, hey, here's a certain, we're a sponsor, do a year lease. We'll do a 1-year lease with you in exchange for XYZ, which is usually one media day. So I do a commercial, we do radio commercials, we do a professional photo shoot so that I have media for a year. Because the better they play and I'm not interrupting them, that's more money for us. So we want that championship team real bad. And from there, it's just grown. We definitely did, I feel like, some influencers before it was a thing. And having those guys representing our brand, because football is so big in Kansas and K-State is known for their football. I was telling a lady earlier that, we've had big names. We've had Morgan Wallen Party in our vehicles driving for a year. And the return on our investment that we've seen with those K-State players, with some of the local names, is much bigger than what we've seen with some of those national names. So I think NIL has worked out fantastic for us. I think it's a train that not a whole lot of people have jumped onto. And then taking it to that next level where, so Avery Johnson not only had a Corvette, but then we took it, we wrapped it in lavender. And so ESPN picked it up, Yahoo News picked it up, taking those NIL relationships, being creative with them and not doing what everybody else is doing with, hey, let's get a photo of the vehicle and get in front of the vehicle. So.
Pretty cool. So yeah, we've done a lot of things, always, thinking about the next thing and everything. So always think that's which is why we're here, right? Just to figure out what we could do, whether it be better or what else we could be doing, right? That can help us, promote the dealership and help us out. Right? So awesome. All right. Well, I'll take you off there. So good job. Thank you. Before we go to the next one, I do want to say thanks to Mike M for the donation there on the chat. So appreciate that. A long-time member, and I think somebody else. So they're 30 months being a member of the family. They posted that in there. So thank you very much, Alan. Thank you. All right, let's bring coming up, Bailey.
Whoa,
Bailey. Now, I missed the beginning of your session. That was right before this, actually. So tell us a little bit about, who you are, where you're from, and what you do at your dealership.
Well, hi, everyone. My name is Bailey Utterkini, and I am the third generation of our family-owned and operated dealership in Denton, Texas. We're known as Bill Utter Ford. And I have my mom actually sitting here with me. She's the second generation. My grandfather started the dealership in 1956 in North Texas, and we've been serving our community ever since. So I've been in the business for about 2 years now, and I'm learning a lot at a very fast pace, and I'm very excited to be here and learn more.
So what are some of the things that you do at the dealership? Like, what's your role, and tell us a little bit about that.
I actually started out as just a social media manager. I really just wanted to get my feet wet, and I went to school for marketing. I always loved social media. So that's how I started out, just posting silly little TikToks or YouTube videos, things of that nature. But I got the bug, and now I'm our marketing director at the dealership. I handle our website. I work with Dealer Teamwork, our SEO provider, and I handle community outreach and things of that nature.
So tell us a little, do you have, tell us some things that you're doing at the dealership that maybe are there any kind of difficulties in getting accomplished, or maybe some struggles with a good sales staff or something like that, how you handle that?
We talked earlier about how we're going to make our process from our online presence to our in-store presence as easy as possible for shoppers. There's so much messaging out there from dealerships. There's new incentives all the time. There's different offers for people to see. So what can we put out there in the community that will stick and will become our niche? And so that's something we've been really been working on. And then training your staff on that. So many things change all the time in this industry. And so it's important to train your staff on what you're promoting so that when they come into the store, that message is being translated as simple as possible.
I think that's a difficulty. Even at our dealership, I know we struggle with that. We try to make sure that that our sales staff is following our social media, that they're sharing our social media, things that whether it be on Instagram or Facebook or wherever it might be, and then also letting them know on a daily basis. So we, our Saturday meetings and our other meetings. So, but all right, what are some of the other marketing things that you're doing? Whether it be what are you doing in the way of advertising for between traditional, digital, such like that? What are you doing?
I firmly believe, obviously, digital is so important. However, I still believe in traditional advertising, and I believe in partnerships, kind of how Ashley touched on earlier. We took a partnership with a local university that we've partnered with for almost 70 years. And this year we really revamped that partnership. And basically what Ashley mentioned, okay, we don't want to just write you a check. We want to see what we can do to make ourselves stand out from our competitors and also just become more interactive with the university. So different examples are events for students. We've done a video that's played at every single home football game and every single home basketball game, where it's a F-150 shuffle, find the Ford. And so the Ford kind of shuffles behind the video, and it's promoting our brand as well as the university, because we made all the F-150s match the university's color. That's been very fun, very interactive for us, and just different things that we can do with our current partnerships to make them more worthwhile.
So you said you've been there a couple of years, but you've been it's a family-run dealership. So if you've been kind of knowing what's going on for a while, have you seen things change within the dealership and ownership and such over the years? And maybe tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. Things are changing all the time. I mean, I grew up and my dad was the one who was going to work every single day and kind of calling the shots, if you will. And in 2013, he retired and my mom stepped in. She has been a great asset to our store, and it's been really inspiring to see how many women that we've recruited to our dealership and how they play an important role on our team.
So what are some things that you're doing with the sales staff to help you be more transparent? Kind of what we're talking about is being more transparent with your customers so that they can trust you. So what are some things that you guys are doing?
One thing is just making financing seem simple. I've done several videos with some of our sales staff where we print out a deal sheet. Of course, for privacy reasons, we block out any sort of private information. We don't want to jeopardize that in any way, but we will show a deal sheet that we present to a customer. And just walking through that and making it not seem as intimidating, especially for young buyers, and making sure we're kind of talking through the difference between financing and leasing. It's very important, especially to our younger generations. So that's one thing we're doing to really implement our tagline, the price you see is the price you pay. It's the other way.
I like that. That's good. Well, thank you very much for being on. I think that's all I have. I'll get some other people. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you.
Good job, Bailey.
Olivia, Ready?
Olivia!
All right, we're gonna bring on Olivia Stapleton. So, Olivia, you work for Dealer Teamwork, which is sponsoring this booth and everything, and allowing me to do the live stream here. Thank you, Sean. Oh, thank you, thank you. I haven't been able to check the stats, so thanks. But yeah, Dealer Teamwork has been a big partner for us, and but you're actually going to come on because we're going to talk about the consumer, because you did a session earlier today, and you talked about being a Gen Z customer. So tell us a little bit about, maybe some of the, not, you don't have to go over the whole session, but tell us, maybe some things that, kind of in a summary of what customers are looking for, especially like the Gen Z customer, what they're looking for from dealerships, and what we can do as dealerships to match this.
Absolutely. So obviously Gen Z is a hot topic. The industry is constantly evolving, and I think a big key component that Gen Z brings is we don't need 100 tactics. There's 4 non-negotiables: immediacy, personalization, making things on my terms, and transparency. Transparency is really the foundation when it comes to Gen Z, because you can't have speed. You can't give an omni-channel experience. You can't deliver personalization if I don't trust you, right? And so I would say transparency is the number one thing. If I see an ad, it's for a black Ford Raptor, I get to your store, and you only have an F-150. I like it, but that's not what drew me to your dealership. And if you can't keep your inventory aligned with what you're advertising, what else is going to be inconsistent, right? So transparency is the number one thing that I would say Gen Z consumers and all generations are adopting as the biggest priority. Consistency, obviously, across any touch point that your consumer touches. That's huge. Making sure that seamless journey from ad to your online showroom to your lot just flows in one seamless journey. And then I would also add on my terms, because for us Gen Zers, we want the online process to be smooth and seamless and on our terms, but then we want the offline validation when we go to your store. And so just making sure that everything flows cohesively is the biggest thing, because I know Bailey and I touched on our attention spans, and we have little to none, Tim. Little to none.
Okay, bringing that up, that kind of got me thinking a little bit. So, because a lot of times, a lot of the dealers here will all now, because since COVID, some of them that didn't launch until COVID, we had ours up and going, and that is having that online, being able to complete the deal online. And you kind of talked about, because I think our assumption is that Gen Z and maybe millennials, that they want to do the whole thing online. So tell us because I like what you said about that, because that was my thought too.
I think there's a big misconception that since we are digital natives, we want the whole process to be online, right? But I know I mentioned before, Tesla, they proved there's a market for that, but for the majority of us, this is one of the second biggest purchases we'll make in our life, a car. So we want to be able to go to the store, test drive it, feel it, get the expertise from the people behind it.
So you want to do the whole deal online. You want to come to the dealership to complete it, but you don't want that, what you've already given us, to be lost when they come to the dealership. So I have to start over and repeat everything you just went. So that's good. And it's good as dealerships for us to know that too, what the customers are wanting to do. But all right. I think what else? That's awesome. So, okay. What I actually want to do is this is not a session. We're at your booth here, so I can actually sell here. So so we're gonna bring Sean up because I wanted someone to sell. Thank you, Olivia. Good. Thank you, Sean. All right. Thanks. Gotta promote. Anyway, yes, we're in your booth, but I do think I would say you've been a great partner, and I say partner, not a vendor, because we have between Bronson, I love Bronson, so Red Pin. So if you need to give him a raise, don't charge us anymore. You can raise. No, just kidding. But no, tell a little bit about what Dealer Teamwork does and what you do for us.
Thank you, Tim, and love our relationship and partnership for 9 years now. So Dealer Teamwork is a patented product called the MPOP, which is a merchandising personalization optimization platform. It's designed to make digital marketing easy to understand and use. Our goal is to stand out on a mobile device, make your ads more relevant, and match it back to the landing pages on your website, for social media, for banner ads, for OTT, all those things that people are searching for. We call it COPE, great ones publish everywhere. We, like you and other partners here, we believe in transparency. We believe the next generation is interested in understanding exactly to the penny what trim level costs, what the differences are, what the options are, and what's going to fit their budget. And one of the things I see that people do wrong is they try to sell people the way they want to sell, instead of selling customers the way the customer wants to be sold. So give the customer the ability to find the data they're looking for the way they want in a non-pressured environment that's transparent. It's got to be penny perfect. And what we're really proud about is the patented MPOT changed digital marketing in automotive forever, because we became a live retail device that gives you the ability to upload, change incentives, offers, rebates, buys, CTAs, banner ads, and market your products the way you want. If you follow whatever else is doing, it's a commodity. And look, we have many, many amazing brands here that we work with. You guys are a brand. Long McArthur, Utter Ford, many of other dealers, you guys are a brand. So if you sell it as a commodity, it's a race to the bottom. If you do it the way you guys are, it's not a race to the bottom. People will pay more for a relationship. People will pay more for an opportunity to work to a deal the way they want to do it. And for 9 years, it's our birthday this week. We're 9 years old, and this is the first company we've ever had a patent on. There's my co-founder partner right there, Eric. Woo! Eric, show me the belt, baby. Come here, good timing. Come on up here. This is my co-founder partner right here. Just got back from the hackathon. Show that baby, Eric. What is that?
This is from winning the first AI hackathon 2 years ago. We were defending our title this year. Just came out of it.
And how'd you do?
The announcer winners tomorrow.
And did you kick everyone's ass?
Correction.
Did I say ass? Sorry. Kick their tail? Sorry.
All right, well, thank you. Yes, so yeah, we partner with you now. We've worked with a lot of different vendors in the past. Yeah. Name names that just. I feel like for us, when we do something, we want to do something that has the same mindset that we do. A lot of times I'll come to these conferences and I'll learn how to do things, and I want to learn how to do it myself. I may have a vendor do it for me, but at least I know how to do it myself as well. It just having a vendor that helps me save me some time. And the MPOP is when we heard about it. Ashley was, remember, we were talking about this week. Ashley was here, and it was 9 years ago we signed up. And what I liked is that your guys' thought process were aligned with ours, in the sense of how when they see an ad on Google, it is driving them straight to that vehicle and not to your inventory, which is what a lot of them will do. Is you're like Olivia said, you're not sending them to someplace else than what they were looking for. I'm looking for that ad for the Raptor, and then you drive me to an inventory that doesn't have the Raptor there anymore, because you stop. What I love about MPOP is that the ads are generated straight from your MPOP ads. And so, and really, even with that, the dealership still has to do their part, because like for us, I think the reason we don't want to say name names, but there are some dealers that probably are on with you, but we're a little more successful than them with your platform because we put the time and effort in. Because when we're running, I don't know if you know this, when we're running 50, when we do this, we run 50 ads at once on the new car side alone. And so we don't do just one of each trim. We do multiple of each trim, so that and then when every morning we're redoing those ads, so that every day we have an ad for every single make, model, trim, right down to that. So it's an amazing platform. But also tell them a little bit about what award you just won.
Come on, Tim. I'm kind of shy on that stuff, but let me do one thing. Let me explain that most of the stuff we've done successfully is feedback from our dealers. We're solving problems. That's the real goal. The patent MPOP is like no other platform out there, and it's from listening to dealers for years and learning what their needs are and how we can solve it. The patent MPOP does SEO, SEM, social media, syndicates it all together so we can dominate the listings. Because bad advertising is expensive. good advertising makes people money. So we recently won an award for being one of the hottest entrepreneurs out there. Thank you so much. I believe in innovating technology as much as we can. And, the secret is listening to your customers or their needs. So whether it be you guys or our friends at Utter Ford or many hundreds and hundreds of other customers, it's listening to what their needs are and being true, ethically and morally right to do it the right way. Digital marketing is not set to forget. And anything in life that's worth doing takes work. There are no shortcuts. And so what I'm proud of is we do that from day one. And it's nice to get recognized, whether it be magazines or industry awards or accolades, to be recognized as one of the best in the industry. Dealer Teamwork is a premier partner 9 years in a row now, top 3% out of 22,000 agencies. We're a software company, and we design technology to make our customers stand out and absolutely dominate. Because Tim, second place is one level above loser.
Yes. Well, you are, I will say this, we are first 2 years in a row in Kansas. And it's hard because number 2 is also one of your customers. Yeah, I was saying you do have a lot of number 1s. And so thank you very much for being part of it. Thank you for letting me use the booth. So,
for people watching and they've been following Tim for years, he's a rock star. I'll tell you one thing, I've been doing this a long time. I still go to Tim for questions all the time. So I'm going to go to Tim, you got to help me again. How do I solve my Bronco Raptors 2 dart? And when's the Raptor Bronco R coming out?
2 dart, you say?
Inside.
Inside?
Yeah, you have a video how to put the lights in.
Oh, yeah, there's vendors for that. I got some on my, we'll talk later. These people already know. I put like $10,000 of accessories in my Bronco, and lights was like 3 of them. So, Raptor R, order bank's open tomorrow. So this is what we need to tell the chat. So we'll be doing videos tomorrow when order bank these are some of the changes, and then once I've dived through the order guide completely and I've compared last year's with this year's, we'll tell you everything that's changed from model years in the video on Thursday. So, you look at it. 60th anniversary, you see that one? 60th anniversary? I did a video on it. It's pretty cool.
You got a lot of videos. It's hard to keep up.
I do.
How many shows have you done?
I do a lot of videos. 213 of these. So, well, anyway, so that's pretty much all the guests that I had.
You should ask Eric about AI.
Eric, come on.
Eric, go for it. Put your phone down.
Eric, thank you very much. All right, tell everybody in the live stream who's here who you are and who you work for and what you do.
Eric Welch, I'm one of the co-founders of Dealer Teamwork. I help pretty much with anything anybody needs at any time, but primarily focused on search and just making sure Sean has everything he needs every day.
So tell us a little bit about AI. Is like every session here is about AI. And so, is it just a buzzword, or like what? I mean, what all? We didn't get a chance to get into the AI hackathon, which was some other stuff going on. But tell us a little bit about what some of the things that you were learning there.
So the first question, Tim, AI is not a buzzword. Just think of it like this, okay? What have we always done? We've gone to Google, we've done a search, and then you search the search results. All AI overviews are doing is doing that search for us. They're finding the best answers from the content that already exists online. And 60% of all of the content that AI overviews are showing up in their results, 60% of those results are already on the first page. So the answer to the question that we get every day, multiple times, how do we show up in AI overview? It's just doing basic SEO really, really good, consistently over time. That's all it is.
Cool. So taking my videos and putting them into words, right? We talked about that once. Yeah, and I've done that some articles. I've actually used AI to write articles from videos I've done. So yeah, so from the tips that you gave me, guys, appreciate it. So All right. So what are some things that we're only on day one here? So what are some things? I don't know if you've got a chance to hit any sessions or anything, but I know you've been in the AI hackathon for a long time. Now, what is AI hackathon, and what's going on there? Because you said it's a competition that you're winning. What all is that?
So my good friend Brent Lees, he did a really good job of creating one of the most unique sessions for Digital Dealer 2 years ago. And this session really gives everybody the opportunity to put their best effort forward, with trying new AI tools, learning the basics, just like prompts, how to structure a prompt, what the different tools are, to be able to solve problems. Think of it like this. Sean came up with a really, really good mantra day one of the company. If you're going to do something manually multiple times, then automate it. It's as simple as that. So we find those things that we do on repetition, and even better, think about the things that you do every day that you don't like to do. That's a great way to start. And then find solutions on how to automate them. And whether that's just a simple response for an email, you can even rewrite internal emails, customer emails, templates. Like you said, taking your video, automating those videos to be able to extrapolate the content, and then being able to take that content and simplify it down into chunkable content. Because that's how Google reads it. Google reads it in small sections, one piece at a time. They love bullets, they love lists, and being able to answer a question or solve a problem. It's as simple as that. So that's one of the things that the objective of one of the key objectives of the hackathon, to be able to show people a better way of doing things. It's just another tool that's going to be able to change the way we approach our daily problems. That's all it comes down to.
Well, thank you very much. So, well, that's interesting. I wish I was in there. It would have been good. I know that Matthew got a chance to be in there for a little bit. So, he said it was just like so much great information in just a short time. So that he was in there. So awesome. Thank you very much. And yes, thank you.
Now you can touch it.
Right, yeah. All right. Well, yeah, I think that's what I have for this episode. And I wasn't gonna. Normally, in our episode we covered the schedule notes. So if you guys were looking for that information, we did a scheduled video earlier today, and that I recorded it. It should be going live here just a little bit. So right after this, I'll have that video go live for you guys. And I wasn't able to schedule it out, but it is ready to go. So as soon as we get done here, I'll go to my computer and get that live for you guys. You guys have the schedule information. Because pretty good information, because we know Rocco Store, Maverick Order Banks open up tomorrow. We have order guides, which will be at the end of the day. Lockheed has been delayed a week, and I told a lot of you guys it's supposed to be next week, or this week, but it's going to be next week. And so this is like the last month that you can get scheduled for 25 on those models. So, but your dealer has to have an application or won't get scheduled. It doesn't matter. Your order could actually go unscheduled, unbuilt, if your dealership doesn't have an application. Like for us, we don't have a regular Bronco application for this. So if somebody has an order, it won't get scheduled. So make sure you have these conversations with your dealers. And so check out that video, and be looking for a video tomorrow for Built Wild Wednesday, and also the other ones we're going to do. We're actually going to Bronco off-road in Nevada location to do recording today. So we're going to have some fun. And we got videos later in the week coming from Rebel Rally. So we're going to get Rebel Rally as well. Sarah's coming flying in. We're going to go do that as well. So make sure you guys are subscribed, bell notification channel, miss any of those videos. And yeah, thanks for joining me for this different style of video for our live stream. But the digital dealer, I think, was really needed. So thank you for the guests that were here. Appreciate it. And for those watching online.
Good job, Tim.
I want to end this the way I end a lot of my videos, and I have to, sometimes I even tell my own employees to remember this, and that is to stay positive, be kind to one another, and be kind to yourself. Thanks for watching.
Woo!